you sing it at 4 in the morning, okay? And everybody is weeping, you know, because that's all they do in Spain is weep and drink and smoke cigarettes, stab each other. But the seguiriya, you know, I mean, I played it for 15 years before I learned how to count it, because I do it when, you know, da, 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 but it actually has a count. It goes 8, 10, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 8. You should all get Don Porren's book, The Art of Flamenco. There's several, you know, if anybody actually interested in this, I could educate them very, very quickly, and you have to spend about 20 years, mind you, you know, kind of absorbing this stuff. But there really is, like, good stuff. Even, and some good rumbas, damn it. There's Bambino and... Pere also, but Pere, you know, in the 1960s, but Bambino was a gypsy from Utrera, was a sobrino of Fernando Bernarda, and he sang the hell out of rumba, and everything else too, but he and Paco del Gastor, who was the nephew of my teacher Diego, who died on July 7th, oddly enough, it's 1973, Paco del Gastor played the world, and was a tremendous player. And there really is, you know, and I don't want to do a plug for this, but there really is a golden kind of revival of flamenco. The Bay Area is probably, next to Spain, the best place for flamenco in the world. I mean, better than Japan, better than New York, better than LA, better than anywhere.
Did anyone else know that? I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't. You know,
it's a hotbed of flamenco.
Yeah, there are 5 or 6, you know, A-League female dancers who are spectacular. Latanya, Yalisa, Faniara, Clara Rodriguez.
Yeah, where?
Okay. ODC is one of the places, the Thirsty Bear. The Thirsty Bear does a free show every Sunday night. So you can go to the bar and sit and, you know, have a glass of water and ask for some ice. And you know, see, tomorrow is Jose Cortez. He's a French gypsy, but from Andalus parents. He was brought up near Marseille. He sings beautifully, has that nice primitive gypsy voice. He's just relocated to here. I mean, he's a new arrival. Wonderful, sings beautiful, very gypsy. I'm trying to think. David McLean, whom I don't like. Actually, I do like him because he plays really well, but I don't like him because he plays really well because he's my competition. But he's a very good player. Modern, a little modern for my taste, but you know, no cajon tomorrow. I'm sorry. That's and who's dancing tomorrow? Let me see. I think, Stephanie Navarez, who's half Cuban, half Puerto Rican from New York. She's a young woman, 23, 24, very, very, very good straight-up, real-live flamenco dancer. And Carenza de Mar is also an excellent dancer, lived in Spain for a long time. And that's a free show, 7:15, 8:30, every Sunday. Okay, the ODC has stuff.
is that the Thirsty Bear?
Thirsty Bear, 661 Howard. I'm there next week with somebody. I'm not sure who, but I'm there next week, Sunday night. The third Wednesday, for those of you who have note paper, the third Wednesday of every month they do a show at the Disco Volante, $7 cover. That's in Oakland, 13th and Webster. That's Clara Rodriguez. She's a tremendous dancer. In fact, for my money, you know, one of the absolute best of the A-League ladies that are in town. Latanya, world-class dancer, lives and teaches in Oakland. Yalisa, also world-class dancer, lives and teaches in Oakland. There's classes. Yeah, that's her group. I'm trying to think of what else. You know, I mean, there's stuff happening all around, and it varies in quality, you know. And I have people that I like and don't like, and so on and so forth. There's a dancer named Lakshmi who comes here periodically. She's a girl from San Diego who went to Spain and got it. Actually, the Farruko family, they use her to teach classes. She does the beginning and intermediates, and she's spectacular. She came here about 4 months ago and did a show at La Peña. Also, La Peña does stuff. I can't pronounce it. The Kumboa Jazz Center in Santa Cruz does stuff periodically.
That plays on Thursday. That plays in North Beach.
Peña Pachamama in North Beach. I don't play there. I played there for a long time, but that's a kind of a Bolivian nightclub or something, kind of a cool place with strange organic food. Chez Panisse, where I played for several years, the best job I ever lost, I refer. But they do flamenco periodically. Bar Cesar does flamenco periodically next door in Berkeley. But there's a lot of stuff happening. Okay, Nina Menendez, who is a half Cuban, half American lady, has a organization called the Bay Area Flamenco Partnership, and And she has, in the last 4 or 5 years, brought Manuela Carrasco, one of the monster dancers of the 20th century, Angelita Vargas, the same, Pepe Torres, who is from Son de la Frontera, who's, you know, he split with them because I think he wanted his own kind of way in terms of the music. Agujetas, Manuel Agujetas, easily the best living male singer in terms of the por seguiriya. He makes, you know, he puts the hair, on, you know, to stand up. All your hair will stand up listening to this guy, not just on the back of your neck. But anyhow, she has brought these people here. I mean, Manuela Carrasco, who was in the 70s, I saw as a teenager, just monstrously extraordinary good dancer in Sevilla, and you know, the top of the top. And she was at Zellerbach, was about a third full, and he just went, geez, you know, I mean, really, and she's so amazing. But Nina does these shows. She's got this guy, Diego Sigala, who is very popular because he's done something with the Buena Vista Social Club people. Not my cup of tea necessarily, but he's a big star and probably much more known than all these other people. She's doing a thing with him. He's coming here in the fall. So, you know, there's a lot of amazing stuff. The Bay Area Flamenco Partnership, sfflamenco.com. You know, and again, there are varying camps, mind you, in flamenco and in the Bay Area. But there are several dancers that are spectacular. And now with Jose Cortez here, who's the real deal gypsy singer in LA. When I get a job where I have enough money to hire someone, I bring Antonio de Jerez up. He's a gypsy singer. He's the son of Benedito de Jerez, who's one of the great singers. I think just recently died, or just about to. I should let him know. And now Kina Mendez, who turns out is the sobrina of the singer La Paquera, whom we saw, she's just moved here, and she sings, I think she's at the Thirsty Bear in 2 weeks. Again, you see her for free, it's really good stuff. And there's a lot of it happening. And, you know, in terms of dance and guitar and so on and so forth, you know, there are 4, 5, or 6 guitar players that I think are pretty good in the area, and the dancers are good, and these singers are good. Roberto Zamora, also a really good singer. So I mean, there's a lot going on, and it's, you know, you got to kind of find it and look for it. But in terms of education, you know, there are a few books. Don Porin, who wrote this in the 60s, called The Art of Flamenco, which, you know, 40 years later you think, wow, this guy really knew what he was talking about, and that's a great book. He passed away recently, but he was, and then, you know, the whole, I mean, what's available on YouTube, even though I tried to show Jonathan some stuff, but he's in the 19th century, not to be, he barely has a telephone, this guy. And, but you know, on YouTube, I mean, you know, Fernando, you can YouTube Fernando, Bernardo, Farruko, all the, you know, Manuela Carrasco, all those people are available and seeable. And there are probably about 10 recordings, all of them were made in the 60s, mind you, that are the absolute pinnacle of the art. You know, Mairena Anthology, London Anthology, Canta Jerez, whatever. All of which I will gladly impart to anybody who wants to bother to look up this information. But, you know, and it's a matter, I mean, really, you know, I'm learning the palmas and listening really carefully and practicing, and, you know, until you're blue in the face, and that's what I did. And,
What's your name?
My name is Kenneth Parker. Again, I'm an American Jew born in New York. I'm in flamenco world. I'm Keni el Lebrijano because they had to give me a name, and my name is Ken, and they said Ken, which means who, so it got very complicated, and they gave me this name. I'm actually a licensed psychologist, believe it or not.
What is
I work at La Clínica de la Raza in Oakland, where I try to teach people to do flamenco, and I give them salad dressing recipes. And then I have a private practice in Berkeley.
What does Lebrijano mean?
Lebrijano, good question. Lebrijano, there's a singer named Juan Peña el Lebrijano, okay, meaning the guy, Juan Peña, the guy from Lebrija. I lived in Lebrija first. It was the first pueblo I lived in, and I didn't speak any, I was horrible. I didn't speak any Spanish, and I went there, you know, totally lost. But they finally, when they asked me what my name is, they'd say, ¿Cómo se llama? And I'd say, Ken. And they'd say,
¿Quién?
¿Quién? So, I lived in Lebrija. I was there several months. And then I moved to another town called Morón de la Frontera, where Diego del Gastor, whom I was fortunate enough to study with, took some lessons before he died in 1973. And the same thing happened in Morón. They'd say, what's your name? I'd say, Ken. They'd say, Ken. So one night, the sort of premier American player guy named David Jones, also known as David Serva, who lives in Madrid and Jerez right now, came into town. He'd been a student and friend of Diego's. And I started singing flamenco. I couldn't speak Spanish, but they all go, ay, 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 ay. And I figured, ay, you know, the vowels. But and then I would try to sing in like Chinese. I said, you know, with some kind of, because it just moving. It was crying and whatever. And David came into Moron and asked Diego del Gastor, who was my teacher. We were all in the Casa Pepe, which was the church of flamenco in Moron de la Frontera. That's now a furniture store. But and he said, "Have you ever heard this guy sing the seguiriya, which is the heavy-duty stuff of Santiago y Santana, what is it, Manuel Torres." And Diego, who hadn't even heard me speak a word of Spanish, said, "Well, no." And so David played, and I sang this thing, and I was, you know, in front of this world. Diego is a monster, you know, he never left his village, but now, after his death, he's a monster star. And I finished, and I went up to the bar, just flushed and nervous, and the bartender said to me, the owner of the Casa Pepe said, ahora tenemos un nombre por ti, you know, now we have a name for you. Desde que viene de Lebrija, because I've been in Lebrija, since you come from Lebrija, y viene cantando, and you come singing, tiene que ser Lebrijano, you know, you have to be Lebrijano. And so everybody called me Lebrijano, including Lebrijano, who's a friend of mine, because he's a singer. And that, you know, Lebrijano is another nephew of Fernanda and his brother Pedro Peña, not Paco Peña, don't get them mixed up. Pedro Peña was, you know, because Paco Peña is a payo, a white guy from Cordoba, whereas Pedro Peña is the real deal gypsy. The book you should buy, Steve Kahn's, what's it called? The Flamenco Photo Project, tremendous black and white photographs. This, another Jew who ended up in, you know, we're traveling, we're getting away from the Nazis, but he did photographs in the 60s of the absolute best of Fernando Bernardo, one Talega, this one, that one, all of them, Manolito de Maria, just tremendous, spectacular photographs. And he recently did through the Caja del Sol, or whatever it is, or the La Junta de Andalucía, they did an exhibition of his photographs in Sevilla that just, you know, had a line around the block, and you know, they were blown away. They said, some American guy comes in and takes the best photos we've ever seen of, you know, our own people, because in a way they don't, you know, I mean, flamenco until just recently it was tremendously unpopular with everybody, and the gypsies were horrifically mistrusted, and you know, the fact that I was living, you know, with these gypsy families, they said, "My God, they're going to steal your money." I thought, well, I don't have any money, but you know, all they did was steal my heart, really, in a way. And, but anyhow, and you guys know Jonathan. I'm not going to let him do his own plug, but he's playing at the Makeout Room, I think, this week. You know.